You are a freshly cut pineapple. And I want to remind you, you are lucky that we're friends. That's right, I'm telling you. Because what I do 18 hours a day, I can't believe I'm giving this out for free. Do you know how many people FUD themselves by selling their bags too early, friends? We have been seeing so much beef appear in the PulseChain community because of one red monthly candle. Bang, as soon as it appears. Today, live, we have Mr. Rags to Riches throwing beef at Mr. B-Roots. There was also Mr. Crypto Heartbeat, Mr. B-Roots going at it. Everybody's fighting. We're seeing more Tang Gang cannibalization. What's happening with the orange juice? Hope it's cold. All of it from one red monthly candle. Friends, look at this. You see that red monthly candle here? This is PulseX, by the way. That's exactly what's been going on. But I want to start with the bullish stuff first. Okay, we've seen this before. Okay, this happens in every community. Now, where's the bullish undertone even coming from? Look, I don't have a formula, but I could just tell you this. I don't think there are enough weak hands in crypto to be concerned. That's just personally me. And play some angel music for the strong hands remaining, by the way. And I'm wearing a Pokemon hat, so if this goes to zero, it's your fault. There aren't enough weak hands in, okay? Which means we're not expensive, which means there's nothing to be worried about. But, you know, there is cause for concern because if you're kind of dreaming about your 500x or your 1000x or whatever coin you're in and it's not moving yet, you're like, oh, crap, we're not like part of the news cycle narratives. What do we do? Well, maybe you buy more and have a lower price target just in case. I wish I had a friend out here wearing a Pokemon hat right now telling me this 1,800 times in 1,800 plus videos in 20,000 plus Twitter posts. Don't believe the hype. Buy the depression. Buy the depression. You don't just hold through. You got to buy more. You got to add more. Find money. Get a second job. Friends, I've made so many videos, man. Get a second job. Get a pay rise. Sell the extra car. Sell stocks. Rotate your gold. Stuff that doesn't move. Can you DCA higher? You know I was here the whole time, friends. You were here the whole time. I told you, you got to do it now. I am depressed, which means it has to be low zones. It has to be. We're so depressed. Crypto is not free money anymore where people who buy late or like in Euphoria, like our PulseChain and PulseX sacrifice price valuation, it's not such that, okay, you're all going to retire from that sack and everybody else is going to double retire. It doesn't work like that, man. Sorry. Okay, I wish it did, doesn't. It works like this. People who buy in the depression, they retire. Everybody else gets the average return. That's the truth. Okay, you know it. So the bullish part, right? If we do dip in March, I think it's going to be shallow. Okay, so don't worry, friends. If you find yourself like this peppy swimming around, you got a little lifeboat, don't worry about it. Okay, I think if we're going to dip, I don't think it's going to be long-lived. Or if we crash, I think it'll be pretty short-lived because there's just not enough weak hands in. And that's crazy, right? You're probably like, what's the formula? There is no formula. I'm making up the formula. I am the formula. Okay, protein drink right here. You'll know when there are weak hands in, that means you've gone up heaps, which means you can come down a lot. That's pretty much a short way of doing it. I do know, though, everybody's overexposed. They're really overexposed. You can tell, right? Whenever there's a red monthly candle, everyone loses their minds. I see it in Ethereum. I see it in Cardano. Solana had green monthly candles. You're going to see it later on. It's happening in ChainLink, by the way, already happening in ChainLink. Just want to throw out, friends, hilarious FUD. There is a ChainLink employee girl. She's getting paid like 200 or 300 grand a year. Paid in dumped link tokens. They found the picture of her. She's a cheerleader. Like an actual cheerleader. And you probably don't believe me, but here it is. Pop! See this? They found her. I don't know what you guys are doing, man. She's an employee. Look, she could be one of those really, really smart girls, okay? I'm sure you are smart too if you're watching here. Shout out to all the ladies out there. And the squirrels and the pups. Can't forget them too. But it's just like, all right. The price slowed down. Where did all this FUD come from, friends? They were, all the Link Marines, all the years, everyone just shut their mouths while we were going up from $5 to $10. No one said anything. It was Mr. Pigeon FUD. Remember Mr. Pigeon? And now, as soon as we slowed down, we're paying a cheerleader 300 grand. We're getting dumped on. Oh, man, you gotta laugh. All the narratives are BS. Now, you have to know this, right? The narratives are BS. So I'm going to show you Rags and Mr. B. It's all BS, okay? It's... What happens, friends, is when I see this, people ask me, right? How do you even see this? How do you can see it? I'm like, listen, step into my peanut brain. All right. I imagine we are in a little community village and there's a little gate. And the gate has like this little trolley cart that comes through the road. Open the gate and it gives you food. All right. That is green candles. Green candles is food coming into the village. Red candles is the gate closes and there's no food. Everybody's starving. Everyone starts to get hungry. They start cannibalizing each other. It's literally that. And it's actually not just a metaphor. It's actually real, friends. Green candles give you dopamine. It's food for your brain to keep going and holding. And then the red candles is the punishment. The problem is the highest reward statistically is buying when there's nothing to come out. It's almost like taking on risks or doing something for the village when there is no food coming in, right? So it's all because think about it, right? People like are desperate. They'll do whatever. So if you're in a village and there's no food coming out and you invested in the village, you'll be able to, I guess, get all the tools and employees. You're able to buy them for very low cost. It's the same thing in markets. When there's red candles and everybody's starving, if you buy, you're buying everything very, very cheap. And then when everything's flourishing, you pay a premium for it. Okay, so that's basically what we're saying. Now, we're not seeing a lot of people who are coming in that are retailers, but people are overexposed. You can tell that just because whenever things like slow down, that's what happens. Now, I'm just going to show you my post here. Okay, Mr. Rags to Riches has been beefing with Mr. Beard. So basically, friends, this type of stuff, this is community drama here and there, but there's a narrative that you really got to understand, because if you study the narratives, you'll never make it. All right? You'll never make it because they don't make sense. They're not meant to make sense. Everything's a meme. Bitcoin's a meme and everything contradicts itself. Okay, that's why scientists, engineers, people who like make stuff in the world, build bridges, suck at investing. Suck. Because they think, oh, 2 + 2 is 4. No. Today, 2 + 2 equals 1 pair of fluffy slippers. And tomorrow, it's a squeaky chair. And the day after that, it's a Pokemon hat. You understand that? Okay? So this game, this formula, it's a moving target. Now, what I mean by this narrative is BS. Because here's the thing. The same community who is posting charts from this is what you'll see. See all these charts. You zoom in, friends. Is like, so I guess the allegation is Mr. B Roots is like been talking about coin after coin after coin after coin, and a lot of them have sustainable growth. That's why, friends, when I tell you what I'm doing, I have 90% core, 10% lottery. I thought about this long and hard. Family friendly show. Like, subscribe. I thought about this even for myself. I'm like, how do I? Because, friends, let me tell you something. I know I'll get excited too early about something. I might go too hard, but then the real big opportunity comes 9 months later. This happened in 2021, okay? But you're already blown out by the time that happens. So you got to protect yourself. So if you're always doing lottery ticket size, as everything builds up, there'll be higher and higher probability wins in for shorter amounts of time as the bull market heats up. And then you'll be able to bet harder. But most people don't do that because they don't know about 90-10. They go, okay, sweet. I've got 30 grand. Let me throw it into like 10 coins of 3 grand each. You know what I mean? All lottery tickets. That's just how they throw it in. Okay, but if you do 90% call, 10% lottery, can't hurt yourself. Okay, so that's the allegation here. Now, I'm wondering if you just change the language about, hey, they're all lottery tickets here and there. But it's hard, man, because the promotions is these things will change your life. This thing will go up. That's people want to hear that. They gravitate towards that. I never talk like that. But you don't see me, friends. Do I ever bother making videos? Let's rewind time. Let's spend 4 hours. Let me collect receipts and spend 4 hours about when this guy tried to embarrass me. Okay, I do that for like 2 seconds, and I'm like, all right, well, you're in the past. I don't really care about that now. We actually got to think about what's coming ahead. Okay, most people have this inverted though. So look, there's also all these other charts here and there, like down, 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 down. But then you scroll down, you have posts like this from Mr. Ghost saying, still looks better than the eHEX chart going down. And I think Mr. Ragsy replied with a log chart, but just to let you know, friends, log chart is just full on cope now. Like, you don't need me to tell you that. Everyone knows, oh, I got a log chart up, because it's like, okay, adoption amplifier price is not printed on the chart. Everybody goes down, and then therefore we start it from the bottom. So everyone knows that scheme type of like trick of like, okay, let's do a low liquidity launch, everything goes down, and everything pumps up. Now, no one really complained because we all thought, everyone thought you'd be like 10x higher from today already. But we're not. We're still under 50% under day one sack for PulseX, etc. So all of these things I'm telling you, scratch them. Okay. Narratives, friends. Oh, this guy is fighting that guy. What's the red monthly candle? That's it. I already showed you. Red monthly candle. That is it. I didn't even need to tell you. You already know. Oh, wow. Red monthly candle. Why I go through this is because there are so many people who are not going to make it, but they were so close. Because along the way, they're holding, they get the red monthly candle, and the narratives, friends, you know, each red monthly candle that comes as you progress the bull market, right? They get more ferocious because the dollar amount down swing is big. You're not used to that. So yeah, it's a 40% downswing, but when you had $1,000, okay, sweet, you're down $400. No one cares. When you have $100,000, psychologically, you're like, oh my gosh, the 40% downswing is 40 grand. I've never lost this much money more. No, it's the same retracement. It's the same retracement. But you'll believe the narrative there over and over again. I've got to tell you, the narrative is BS every single time. The only thing that matters really is when the Euphoria weekends come in. That's actually it. Otherwise, everything's fairly priced. Yes, I know, narratives. The market's smarter than you and me, friends. Everything is kind of fairly priced in a zone. But when the weekends come in, hopefully, maybe 1 year after the Bitcoin halving, maybe that's the final Euphoria. And then you're like, okay, sweet, this must be expensive, whatever price you're giving me. Okay, so the community has to just battle through this, and you've got to battle through this. Your friends and family, they're going to see these stories. Imagine, friends, like, think about someone on the sideline. If I didn't tell you all narratives are BS, I'm still long, I'm still strong, this means nothing. If I didn't tell you that, I know there are people today, they show that HEX chart, right? They show this HEX chart, and they're like, well, you have just literally just did the Burj Khalifa. You're down 99%, okay? That means everybody here is wrong. That's what their conclusion will be, okay? So log chart, you can. It makes it look pretty, but it hides everything, really. But that's not what we're playing here for, okay? A lovely gentleman, I think, I forgot your name, sir. I forgot your name. Someone in the comment section, he asked me, he goes, Somi, when will you think something like Richard Hart ecosystem or ChainLink or anything else, when is it a failure? Basically, that's the idea. When do you consider something like a failure or a success? Like, what's that point? So effectively, what you want to know, bless your heart, you want to know you want to know the price target and the time. Basically, you're basically saying in another way, when moon, right? When moon, and if we don't hit moon by this point, is it a failure? What is the general answer? And I've just to communicate to you, friends, that's not my strategy. Okay, investors, contrarian, people who win, people who buy low, sell high, Warren Buffett, right? The late Charlie Munger, everyone else who kills it, they're not in the business of saying success or failure. Okay, the market determines that. I can just tell you though, on average, when you buy low, that's part of your strategy. When you buy low and then you sell in Euphoria, so you buy in the depression and you sell in Euphoria, on average, you make money. Not financial advice. Wearing a Pokemon hat can go to zero tomorrow. Crypto can literally stop working tomorrow. They turn off the Bitcoin blockchain. We all have debt to everyone. Okay, that can happen. But on average, this makes money. I don't know how much though. I don't know if we're going to be up 20%, 2x, 50x, 100x, 200x. I don't know. I have no idea, and no one knows. We can give you guesses. We can try to use the part, but no one knows. Okay. All I know is there's going to be a green candle. Just can't tell you how big and how thick. Okay. That's it. Your job, though, is to just stick to the strategy. Not to say, well, yeah, you're a failure, you're a success. If you watch all my videos, friends, I know you're here. I kept saying, Habib, on what planet is 30 times your money a failure? You know, this is when I was saying 30x above day one sack was still good. And many, overwhelming majority still say that's a complete failure today. Complete. Okay. I was saying, well, you know what about 30x from the low? PulseX is up 7.5x from its very, very low. Okay. So just to show you now, it's up 7.5x, friends. This is why a lot of people are saying altcoins aren't moving. Altcoins aren't moving. Okay. But this one went up 650% from the low. It's up 7.5x from the low. Now, I know, tongue in cheek, once again, you're going to say, that sounds like a scam, man. Everyone's long from the day one sacrifice price and you're just measuring from the low. Yes, friends, that's what Richard's going to do, this marketing measuring stuff for every coin that he has to make it look good and everything. It's for marketing to onboard people. You got to remember that all narrative and founder and the leader and Sergey and Chainlink and Bitcoin, put it all aside. All that matters is, did you buy in depression and sell in euphoria? We all have to admit when we participated in PulseChain and PulseX, we bought in the Euphoria. That's it. Every bullet put in was effectively wasted. You bought in the Euphoria. Now, does that mean you don't go to zero for everything? Your odds, though, that you retire off buying off the Euphoria, very, very low. Not zero, it's just low. Obviously, it's happening in Bitcoin, but don't anchor to Bitcoin, because what's everyone do, friends? Look, what was the 2022 bear market code for HEX? They overlay the Bitcoin fractal, okay? And I was guilty of this too. I was like, oh man, if we recover, because you thought, okay, PulseChain's going to launch, Richard's probably going to buy the bottom with the funds, and something's going to pump up. We all thought that, right? Because you don't know, you're speculating. And didn't happen, okay? There were all these videos and clips being put out, Richard saying, HEX is a bear market hedge, we're decorrelated, all of this over and over and over again. So everyone just thought that. I don't blame everyone for thinking that. The narrative gets circled, and then guess what? Crowd was wrong. We weren't a bear market hedge. Bitcoin's a bear market hedge. It's now been 3 years, still down, okay? Still down from when you're putting in money. Now, I know technically, yes, the token generation event wasn't out, but it's not up to me and you, friends. We understand that. The majority of the weak hands don't. Mr. Custard even told us he's got like 2 normie friends. They've literally said, tell us when PulseX is back to day 1 so I can get out and regret this. Never speaking to you again, pretty much. That's a lot of people have been saying that. And that's funny. He told me that after he saw my post. I go, I bet everybody's waiting for PulseX day 1 sack to sell their break even. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to do that, because you know if they sell there, it's probably the best buy of a lifetime. Why? Because they'll only be selling to get out. And you're like, you have no look at the fundamentals. You're not even in doing any future forecasting, nothing. You have absolutely no grasp of the fundamentals or crypto future at all. You just want your break-even money. So you're an artificial seller. You know what I mean? You're only selling just to get back your money. Well, the market value doesn't care about where you entered, okay? So that's just something that we got to be thinking about. But what we might find is, friends, for example, the BankX sell war, eHEX, it's very interesting because it's really, really easy mode for me now. Like, this is very slow mode, friends. It's literally like an Olympian sprinter racing against like 12-year-old kids, right? This is like, I can see it now. BankX have placed a thick sell war. They've displayed to everybody, we just want to get out. For some reason, people think this is bearish. No, it's not bearish, okay? You want them to sell at 1.2 to 3 cent range. You want them to sell in this range and not at $1. Okay, so that's actually bullish, right? But you want to also see what's a scenario where that gets chewed, the great chew. You want to be able to view it in your mind as like, okay, well, someone's only going to buy it if it's cheap for them. Well, what would be cheap to them? I don't know. Maybe Ethereum 3,500, maybe eHEX up at 5 cents, maybe Pulse rallying. You see what I mean? There are periods of time where this thing will eventually become cheap, and when it will be gobbled up at one, probably the whole community, everyone chewing it up, taking a punt here and there. So those are the things that really matter. You're seeing these types of the cycles continue on here and there. The stories and the cannibalization and everything, remember, they're different every time. There's a new character, there's a new reason, there's a new rhyme, it's always entertainment, friends, every single time. Remember, people are bored and they were poor. Well, if you're in here to solve the bored part, you're never really going to make it. Because that's, I know everyone gravitates to that. But it's all coming from one red monthly candle. One. Just one. Almost makes you think, oh my gosh, what's the next bear market going to be when there's going to be 10? Say, but to get the 10 red monthly candles, there has to be a lot of green first. And there's still a lot of positive things. Like I made this post for Senator Lummis. She is, I'm thrilled the Department of Energy suspended its crypto asset mining usage survey. The Department of Energy should never pick winners and losers. And all of the community, basically, we've been asking her to like review correspondence with corrupt SEC versus Shula. So we're just all messaging her. Shout out to Mr. Nuclear Herbs. Woo! Nuclear Herbs, not just any type of herb, friends. So, woohoo! This is sending you to another planet. I want to see how high those green candles are when you go through that. Now, so, see, the type of community, this is awesome to do that. They're still there. This does not scream to me death. But then again, you're like, all right, well, your 5 billion valuation. How high should you be? And you're like, man, look, I know 5 billion seems like a lot. But if the market gives Cardano 20 billion, why can't we be 20 billion? We should be 4x higher, man. We should flip Cardano. We should be that high. It just takes time. It takes time. So that gives you conviction. Okay. If you always use, say, market cap, yeah, it can limit yourself because you never know what number is too big. But if you use relative market caps, you're like, wait, Why are you this size and you aren't? That's something I've got to think about, you know? So if someone spoofs $1 trillion market cap, yeah, sure, it makes no sense. But you look at, all right, you're $1 trillion and Bitcoin's $1 trillion. I don't think you have 219 million people that want to join your network. So I think you're overvalued at $1 trillion, just for example, okay? But when it comes to, say, Cardano and PulseChain ecosystem, PulseChain itself being 2 billion and then Cardano being 20 billion, man, that's a 10x. And even the whole ecosystem, if you count everything as one coin, it's still a 4x away. That's still big. Like, you're looking at that. Yes, market just doesn't react overnight. The reaction and the catching up, it happens in different phases. So maybe Ethereum goes up, we react with it. Then there's a dump, we dump less. And then in Bitcoin breaking 69K, we pump even more. That's one way it could kind of like gravitate and like sort itself out. Assuming you're right anyway, you never really know. I mean, what if Cardano does a 5x from here? Now that's 100 billion. Does that mean, oh my gosh, PulseChain has to go to 100 billion? I mean, it could be. It literally could be. So at the end of the day, you get to see the truth, friends. The color of the monthly candle. It's something I noticed. I've brought it out here to you. And it sounds so simple. It's true. Green monthly candle, we're all feeling good. Red monthly candle, cannibalization, death, destruction. Everyone's fighting straight away. But I know why people don't want to believe what I'm saying is because they go, wait a minute. Our green monthly candle only brought PulseChain 30 to 40% above day one sec. How can you tell me that was happy forever? That shouldn't be happy. We're just barely getting started. Now we already had a red one. That's why I've told you thousands of times, I have no price target. All right? I've got no price target now. All right? I have ideas, theories, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. Okay? I've got no price target. I'm reading the crowd. You understand? Because I'm not reliable with price targets. I'm reading the crowd. Once all the X factor signals start hitting, I'm like, okay, sweet, it's done. Okay, that's personally from me. I'm just waiting for Euphoria. What's high going to be? I don't know. You're going to have to scale out over a period of time. That's the thing we're going to be thinking about. But, you know, we're still cheap now. Don't even worry about selling. Okay, the break-even Soyboys for PulseX, they're still 2x away. Basically get a free 2x, not financial advice. So there still is a lot of opportunity there. All this community stuff going back and forth. At some point as well, friends, everyone's going to have to say, well, I want to stop buying other coins, but you can't, like, it's hard for people to be told, okay, Hex is down 95% after 3 years, but you should like it. Because they say, no, I don't like the coin down 95% after 3 years. I like the coin that's up 500% and has been going up. I like that chart price. I know, but that's what happens. I guess the confusion and the pains is it's the product of the 2021 marketing narratives that was so effective back then, hasn't been able to move away. With Bitcoin community, peer-to-peer cash kind of dissolved now. Now it's store of value, right? They were able to dissolve it away. So that's why I know one of my like prophecies, I don't really talk about it, but if Richard returns to streaming, I already know he's going to pivot his narrative. He's going to pivot his price narrative. How do you come and speak to 200,000 people and show them that price chart and say, well, we still got the best performing price chart? It doesn't work. You can't say that anymore. And not even highest ROI anymore. Those things have to be retired and shifted, okay, into the next phase. So that's probably, you never know, friends. He could be like working on that today. He could be looking out for all these examples. Okay, what's the best thing that's going to move us into that next phase? But a lot of people are going to be very upset when they do that because they're like, wait a minute, I really believe what you were saying in the first 2 to 3 years. This is different, right? So yes, welcome to the life, friends. That's it. These things, there's an early, there's a middle, and there's a late, okay? If you're going from early to the middle, you have to shift this narrative, okay? So who controls it? Up to the community here and there. Like, it is what it is, okay? But you hope that it doesn't really need to do that. Like, does he ever need to come back to streaming? Okay, maybe he's just, you never know, man. He could just be pumping it from the background. Maybe his job's done. Maybe he's like, oh, well, Bitcoin succeeded and Satoshi disappeared after the second or third year, which is true, right? So think about that now. Maybe like, third, fourth year, he's disappeared at the same time that Satoshi has. So you don't really know. But then people also wonder, well, I don't want all the marketing to be pivoted to one point. That's another thing people consider. But you see all of these, friends, all of these talking points, they're red monthly candle talking points. Okay, that's it. When a green monthly candle comes, it's now We are undervalued on the Cardano, Solana's a grift. We're going to pump hard. Everything else, move out of our way. That's just, it's it. Okay, so that is guaranteed. Red candle bad, green candle good. So our mind is just going to be focused on, all right, when are the weak hands getting in? Are they in yet? Watch the clock. 3 out of 3 times they entered 1 year after the Bitcoin halving. Warm up alt season. Let's see how 2025 plays out. Catch you soon, friends. Like, subscribe.